We're going to discuss two scenarios really. Fire an employee.
Hold on one second.
Good job, like that class. Good job. All right, we'll talk about two scenarios. Firing an employee and a suspension of an employee. Our first scenario is a firing employee. I'm the GM, he's the manager.
So, hey George, I gotta talk to you about this employee. They're very underperforming. They're not actually, performing to par. I got a lot of employees that are around on the floor talking about the fact that this employee isn't doing enough to pull his own weight and all that. And I've actually started seeing that he is not necessarily doing what he's supposed to do. He milks it, he's always constantly walking around. And I think honestly, this is prompted for us to actually go ahead and terminate this employee. What do you think?
Who is the employee?
We'll say his name is Steve.
Steve?
Yeah.
How long Steve been with us?
Steve has been with us for 12 years now.
12 years?
Yeah.
You have any conversations on coaching, anything going on?
No, I never really given him a coaching. I didn't think it was important, but honestly, I've seen his work drop drastically, and I just don't know exactly what to do.
His annual review, how was that done?
I do the reviews, but I've actually just looked at whatever the review gives me, the example, and I just broke that down just because I was busy and years, and all I did was just try to, just write good things about him in the review, but he's actually started to slow down drastically.
So you telling me you want to fire an employee without any conversations, good reviews, and you want to fire this person?
Yeah, no, like I said, he's literally just slowed down. I mean, I can see that you actually need a paper trail and all that, but, the fact that he's actually, walking around and doing nothing, and, he walks around with hands in his pocket, he's literally fell off a lot.
Have you talked to him about it?
I have not. I've only seen him just, I've been hearing a lot of stories. I've been seeing it for myself, but I haven't actually had the time to actually talk to the employee.
All right, do me a favor then. Talk to him first. Ask him what's going on. Maybe something going on in his personal life. Something at home is going on. But you just can't fire nobody because no paper trail. Okay. Talk to him, see what's going on. You give him a coaching. See if he can improve. But the next evaluation, put it on paper.
Okay. Now, I honestly know that we messed this up. Well, I messed this up. I was always just constantly busy. But I see that we actually do. I need to be more proactive in his counseling. And like I said, he used to be a good employee, but now he's falling off a lot. But I would definitely try that next time.
Yeah. So you're aware something could be going on in his personal life.
I never really took the time to actually talk to him about that. Because I got other things going on in my life too.
And we all do.
Yeah.
We all do. But as leaders, you as a manager, you see what's going on him personally before we start talking about firing the person. A whole lot of scenarios could be going on.
So you just can't fire an employee just because.
No, you cannot, especially a 12-year employee.
Yeah.
You got a paper trail, coaching, write-ups. You got to be something written down. You just can't fire by word of mouth. Tired of seeing you. Bye. You can't do that.
Okay. So I misunderstood everything then.
Okay.
I think I need to just, like you said, build a paper trail. We definitely want to work with him. I will take the time to actually talk to him about what's going on in his personal life. Maybe there's situations where maybe we can change something around. Maybe his schedule is bad or something like that. So.
Yes, talk to him first.
Okay.
I see the paper on my desk about a suspension for an employee. What's this about?
Well, this is another employee. She's a very good employee, but she's been calling out a lot. This is her third counseling notice for call outs. So I think she should definitely be suspended.
It's a third notice. I see it's a third notice, but you asked her what's the reason why she's calling out?
Not necessarily, I just know that she ran out of hours, and she consistently calls out, and, you know, this is the third write-up, so I think suspension, just to let her know that, you know, she needs to come to work, she needs to put herself to work, needs to be on time, and there really is no exception, because all employees are having to come in to
Right.
the same standard.
Right.
So I think she deserves this suspension.
Right, you're right, there's, you know, she should work on scheduled hours
Right.
and scheduled days. Bring up, you know, see what she got to say about it.
Okay. Go ahead. So you've been calling out consistently, and you actually have no more hours, but you consistently call out. So this is the third write-up that we're giving you for call outs. You're actually looking at, a suspension right now.
Have you seen this? I'm quite sure you know about it. Is there any reason why you calling out consistently?
Yeah, I've actually been having problems with babysitter, so it's like last minute they bang out on me and I have no other choice. I don't know. I know it affects me too, but I have nothing else. What can I do?
But your schedule is posted 3 weeks ahead of time.
I know, I have the 3 weeks, but like I said, my babysitter last minute bangs out on me and all of a sudden it hits me and I have nothing else, so what else I can do?
I wasn't aware of your situation of, a babysitter. I wasn't aware of that. That makes a lot of sense why you would miss work, because obviously family comes first and you wanna take care of family. But you also have a duty to your job, and right now this suspension is actually, you know, it's gonna be detrimental to you especially, because at that point, you're in lieu of termination as well. So, you know, there are programs that you can actually take advantage that Costco offers. It's called the Care Network. Have you looked into that? No?
You think we change your schedule around? Would it be more convenient for you?
I mean, I can try to do that, I can work with that, but the babysitter stuff, I have to, you know, figure out that situation. That's, you know, I guess.
But we need you here. You're a good employee, we need you here. So Irvin, you think we should suspend her or just give her a waive?
Well, honestly, we do have to issue the counseling notice.
Correct.
But we can, it is completely up to you. I mean, I didn't know the story behind it, just like the previous employee. I never really got into their personal lives or anything like that. I didn't think of it as much. But now that she's coming up with this situation, I can only put myself in her shoes. And I know that I will personally call out myself, even if I don't have hours. So maybe she does deserve a chance. But yeah, we could definitely change her schedule around. Are you more available for mornings, evenings?
Possibly mid-shift.
Mid-shift.
Mid-shift,
So are you gonna have a babysitter mid-shift during the day?
It'll give me time to find somebody.
Okay.
Early mornings is pretty hard.
All right, so Irvin, can you work with schedule so she can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. We'll work with you. I'll have you more of a mid-shift. It makes sense if you're scheduled to come in at 4 in the morning, you know, you have to wake up at 3 or whatever it is. And to find a babysitter at that time, I can understand how hard that would be. So, yeah, we can definitely do a mid-shift for you. I'll definitely look into that.
All right.
If anything, but just understand that you do need to report yourself to work. And like I said, you are risking yourself a suspension. You have a family, you don't want to, you know, put that mark on you. You want to succeed. And we don't want you to fail either. We don't want to suspend you just because we want to, but it's just the fact that we have to hold all our employees to a certain level. You know, we can accommodate it this time, but in the future, just try to make it work.
How long will it take you to adjust your schedule? By the end of the week, so next week going forward, you'll be able to come in mid-shift? All right.
Okay, we can definitely
Thank you.
work with that.
We'll work with that. All right.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, we'll go with the first scenario first about the 12-year employee that's underperforming. You know, just from looking at it, I mean, I think Irvin was correct. He needed to do a better job. And it's not even about getting the paper trail. It's about being more engaged with the employees and figure out what's going on ahead of time. If the employees are starting to slip or if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, you have to set the standard. Let them know that what your expectations are, but more and more so find out what's going on with them. Say, hey, look, and there's nothing wrong with having that conversation on the side. Say, hey, look, you're performing. It's been lacking lately. What's going on with you? Is there anything I can do to help you? And that's an important phrase. Is there anything I can do to help you? It kind of gives the employee, put them at ease a little bit, and they'll open up to you more about what's going on. And at the end of the day, you know, I know all the paperwork weren't done correctly, and it should be done correctly going forward. You don't want to start off the first moment coaching. The first moment you want to have that interaction and that conversation with them as far as what it is that they need help with, or you know, what is it to get their performance back up. So definitely do that. And the reviews, I think a lot of us are guilty just trying to get the reviews turned in, make sure they're turned in on time. And you know, but we got to put some substance into it. When you're giving an employee a review, it should be a reflection on what they've done previous years, and it shouldn't be a surprise. Definitely, it should be something that they know whatever's on the review is something you've already discussed with them before, and it won't come up as a surprise. Just looking at this, a 12-year employee, it's going to be very difficult to terminate. You know, especially if there's no paper trail or there's nothing in their reviews, because the VPs are going to ask for the last 2 reviews. You know, they're going to have to approve this. This will probably have to go up to Yoram to get the termination, and he's going to want to see all the paperwork, and he's going to look at the reviews and say, "My God, this guy's a good employee." And you guys want to terminate him, and there's no, you know, so it doesn't work that way. So it takes a long time to put something together. But at the end of the day, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to take care of our employees and get them to perform where they need to go. Anybody else have anything? All right. So the next one, the sick call and the suspension and things like that. The only thing I would say with that, I wouldn't necessarily look to change the schedule right at the beginning. Because otherwise, you're going to have a lot of employees coming to you with different cases to say, "Hey, I'm having trouble doing this. I can't work at night. I want to get," you know, you're opening yourself up to something that you probably don't want to get into right away. Now, if there's a job posting, you would encourage the employee, go ahead, and you know what? Maybe the stalker position is not for you. When the posting comes up for member service or something that's going to be, you know, conducive to your schedule, I would recommend that you sign that. But that's my only thing. The other thing with the work care, that was very good. You know, she can file for FMLA, MFLA, and different things. But yeah, anything?
There also, for us that work in Maryland, this subject could have been brought about as kin care. And when you're caring for another, like she's trying to care for a child, you know, the attendance would be excused. And then that attendance would be different in the way it's being processed through payroll. And that person might not be actually getting suspended or even issued a counseling if kin care was exercised. I can tell you my employees know what kin care is. And they use their personal time, they use vacation time. This time would get exhausted. If that time's exhausted, it doesn't matter if they have kin care or not. That they're already at the end of the rope. But it does eliminate the risk. But when this is happening, I would encourage you guys, and I think this is all in hindsight of what's been happening in the past couple of years, is you've kind of seen a change in dialogue of Costco's approach to our employees. We should be, I would say, and we're seeing this, but we should be more proactive in conversation. Find out the why. It's not, you don't want it to make it your business, but you're asking, what can I do to help? Is there anything I can do to help? Is there anything you want to share? Because ultimately, this is where we get in a situation where we possibly could lose somebody.
Well, what happens if it's like really personal, like serious home issues? How do you-
And I think it's kind of what, you know, there's boundaries maybe where people don't want to share, but if it's going to affect their employment, at a certain point, this person will open up. But that's where we're here. You know, you can put yourself out there as a manager, and if you don't feel comfortable, you know, we would pair up as, you know, if I'm a department manager, I pair up with my GM, we have this conversation. It's a closed-door conversation. I would tell you probably 19 out of 20 times, that person's gonna spill the beans about what's going on. They're gonna tell you if they're in this bad situation, they're really, it really changes us in our relationship. It also it may change what kind of guidance we give to that person. Do they need to seek care? Do they need to have some sort of counseling? Do they need to get a different shift? Can we put them in a different department? There's a lot of things that can happen before we see somebody lose a job. Replacing a job at Costco is a big shoe to fill. I think anybody thinks back on that statement, trying to find a job at Costco, if you've been here for 20 years or 12 years, to try to replace that job with 12 years of service, you're probably making, pretty good bucks at Costco. 12 year employees making probably
Yep.
$60,000 a year, you're not gonna find it.
Yeah, and that's where we all come in as leaders, is to make sure our employees are comfortable enough to come with us ahead of time. Maybe Joanna could have came to Irvin ahead of time, saying, hey, Irvin, I know I called out the other day because of a babysitting issue. I'm running into these situations. So, if Irvin was more approachable, maybe this problem might have been solved ahead of time. So that's where, your relationship and when you get to know your employees, you kind of open up that avenue where they're more comfortable coming to you ahead of time and not put themselves in that situation down the road where you have to, at some point talk about termination for somebody who's been with the company for a long time. You just don't want to get to that point. Okay?